Okay, this is the Smith Wesson M&P 380 Easy. As you can see, this is model 2.0, and I'm going to show you how to field strip and clean. So first thing we're going to do is we want to make sure that it is unloaded. I know that it is, but we're going to go through anyway. Remove the magazine, open the slide. You can see that it is unloaded. Get through there. All right, so that's the first thing you're going to want to do is lock the slide to the rear using the slide lock lever. And while it's back there, I'm going to rotate the takedown lever clockwise until it's at the 6 o'clock position. We're going to push the slide back and it releases. So I'll show you that again. If you just move it back, it'll release that slide stop. You can leave the safety on. And with this lever pointed down, it now allows the slide to come right off the front of the gun. Super easy. And then next thing you want to do, you have your recoil spring and guide rod here. These are just press it down, pull it out. And then the barrel will lift right out. Sorry, I'm trying to do this while looking through my phone screen, which makes it a little more difficult. So there you have it. It is now completely field stripped, and that was very easy. Okay, so the first thing I usually do is clean the barrel. So this barrel is not actually all that dirty right now. I only shot this gun a few times, but so what I'm going to do is get some Hoppe's number 9 in my little dispenser here, and I'm going to clean the feed ramp, very important. And I'm just going to clean around the inside here, just the inside of the barrel. And then the fastest way to clean the whole barrel is to get a bore snake like this. Make sure you have the right caliber. Just feed it through, and it's got brushes, copper brushes on here, so it's going to scour the inside pretty well. And the rest of it's just going to really polish up the inside. It's a little hard to pull through, but that's a good thing, because that means it's really cleaning it up nice. So I'm usually going to run that through probably about twice, maybe more if I really shot the gun a lot and it's really filthy. The other thing you can do, if you like, you could put some Hoppe's number 9 on the first part of this right here. Get this a little bit wet with it, pull it through, and then the rest of the string will dry that off pretty well. So now I'm going to look and see. Looks like it's pretty clean. You can kind of see through there. It's nice and clean. The old school way, if you don't have a bore snake, is to get a rod like this. There's different kinds. Some have little loops on the end. And then get some patches. This is called the rod and patch method. This is kind of like the old school way to do it, but works great. Takes longer. It's a lot messier. I don't ever do it this way. I always use the bore snake. It's so much easier. So once again, get your dispenser. You would get a patch pretty wet like that. Put on the end of the rod. Then you're basically going to force it through. And one of the things I don't like is the forcing part, because sometimes it goes through and then I'll slam my knuckles on this thing, but it goes through. Now this is going to be a really thorough way to do it. It is time consuming. I mean, you don't really need to get every little bit of grime out of there. Bore snake does it good enough for me. But just to show you, you know, if you really want to get it super clean, you can do this a bunch of times until your patches come out clean. Yeah, there you go. See, it's cleaner, but I'm not gonna run like 16 patches through there. I just like to do the bore snake. It's typically accepted to push it through from back to front the same way the bullet goes. Doesn't really matter that much, but you might as well do it that way. The old school, the reason they teach that is there was a time when you would clean your gun, and some, in rifles, you don't take the barrel out of a rifle, so you always run the cleaning stuff through the rifle from breech to muzzle. That way all the crud goes out the end. You don't want to go the other way and push crud out into the action of the rifle. So that's the reason for that, but I always just do it old school like that. Now I'm just going to clean all the solvent off. So that's the other thing. I don't like to get too much solvent inside. I'm going to take a dry patch, push it through, try and get all the solvent out that was in there. See, there was a little bit of solvent in there, and maybe we'll do one more patch. Get that sucker nice and clean and dry, and get the solvent out of there. I don't want solvent in there either. Here we go. All right, that is one pretty clean barrel at this point. I'm just going to clean all that solvent off there, put that aside, set that aside, clean the rod off. Now next up, this is the recoil spring here. Doesn't really get too bad. There's really no easy way to clean this because it's kind of like you don't want to get a bunch of solvent and stuff in there. So basically, I'm just going to wipe this down with a paper towel. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to clean the slide. So there's a couple ways you can clean the slide. You can get your hoppies, and you can just clean all the surfaces in there. Where you really want to get is the notch here where the slide goes back and forth on the frame. The slide notches fit on these lands here. Slide back and forth, so you want to make sure there's no crud buildup in there. Slap some hoppies in there. Number 9. Try and make that a little thinner so you can really get into that slot. Clean those slots real good. Clean down in here. You'll also want to clean the breech face. This is where the firing pin comes out that little hole there in the middle, so you want to make sure that. It's nice and clean as well. Yeah, getting a lot of dirt on there, even though this gun was still relatively, didn't really shoot it a whole lot. So you can see how filthy the inside of the gun really gets. Get in there, get all that. Be careful not to get too much. Strands of the cotton can get stuck in there. They make some really good swabs for guns that are made out of foam tips instead of cotton, so they don't leave strands everywhere. Kind of like lint free, I think they call them, strand free. And just paper towel to get all that off of there. Nice, get it nice and clean. Get all the crud off of there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Pretty good. On the outside. The other way, really quick way to clean the slide is to get some gun scrubber. And this is a spray. This is synthetic safe. I don't want any chemicals getting on the polymer parts of the gun. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of hold this over a trash can. I'm just going to spray it down, spray the slots there, let it drip down a little bit. All right. Then I'm going to just kind of wipe that off. Wipe that all down. And a lot of it evaporates, but you really want to wipe off the loose dirt. The spray itself is eventually going to kind of dry up and evaporate. If you want to get all the other thing, if you don't use synthetic, this paint in here, it's just little paint, these white dots here for your rear sights. If you get the wrong kind of chemical in there, it's going to remove those white dots. It's going to dissolve that paint in there. Then you'll have to buy some paint, some sight paint, and redo that. I've had that happen before, so I only use synthetic safe. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get to the frame. Same thing with the frame. You can use your Hobbies number 9. The places you mostly want to clean are right here where the slides on this, on these notches here. So you want to make sure those get nice and clean. Back here, and all these metal pieces here. Get a little solvent on there, get them nice and clean. I usually use the swab to get into all the little areas there. Just like to clean all down in here. Any place where you see crud, I mean, it gets dirty everywhere, all the carbon buildup. Every time a round goes off, there's a little explosion in there, obviously, and it just sends carbon all over the gun. So that's why we have to clean it, because that builds up too much and you end up having problems. So now I'm just going to wipe this down. Get nice and clean. Now again, that's one way you can do it. Takes a little bit more time that way. If you want to do it a little bit quicker way, go over here with your gun scrubber. And this is polymer, this is synthetic safe. So what we're going to do it, I'm left-handed, so it's a little, I shoot right-handed, but I am, and this is going to get really down into the workings of the gun, get all that crud out of there. I'm going to let it drip dry for a few seconds here. All right, and then I'm going to go in. You can use a cotton swab, you can use a microfiber. I just use a paper towel, especially on a polymer gun that doesn't have a nice finish. That, you know, the paper towel is going to scratch a nice finish or anything like that. A lot of that excess is going to evaporate. And we're not worried about the plastic because it's synthetic safe gun scrubber. Yeah, just like to be clean everywhere that we can. Get it as dry as you can. All right, now that everything's been cleaned, now we're going to lube it up. What I've been using lately is this original gun oil. This is made by a veteran and he also supports a lot of veteran causes. The stuff's not cheap. It can be used for a lot of things. It is non-toxic, non-hazardous, non-staining. It doesn't smell. It works as a cleaner, a lubricant, and a protectant. And I've been using this stuff for a few months now, and I'm really happy with it. I've actually used it for some things other than guns around the house, and it works really well. I did do a review on this, which I'll put the link down below. So what I want to do, I want to lube here, 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 and I like to put a drop down into the mechanical area here, just because that's where there's a lot of moving parts. Just one drop, one drop, one drop, one drop, and then I'm just going to put a drop down in there. So now I'm going to put this back together. So one of the other things I like to do is I put a drop on the barrel. This stuff's non-hazardous, so I don't care about it getting on my finger. This helps keep it. If this gun ends up sitting somewhere, ends up being a carry gun, it gets some moisture around it or anything like that, this is going to help keep things from corroding. I'm going to set that in there. You want these long sides to stay facing up, as I'll show you. So you just press that down, put it in there. You want this oblong areas on the sides. Just like that. Yeah, that's how the slide goes. Now we just want to line this up, just like this. Slide that back on. Now watch this right here. You don't want that to scratch the back of your gun, so just very carefully right here, line that up. Go ahead and slide it on there. Now you want to slide the slide all the way back and then press this up to hold it back. And you don't want to press on this as you're doing that, because this is going to cause the safety to go up into the gun, and it's going to cause problems. So pull that back, put it all the way back, press that up, holds it in place. While it's up there, very simple, put that lever back where it was, press the slide back, the slide release comes down on its own, voila, now you're done. Last thing I want to do, I'm going to work this back and forth to get that oil moved around in there. Some of the extra oil is going to start coming out of the sides, so we're just going to wipe that off. You use your microfiber for the metal part, so you don't scratch it with the harsh paper towel. Although my paper towels are pretty soft, but some people say the microfiber is much better, and it is. It's much better on the surfaces. So you want to wipe off all the excess. Right? And now everything looks beautiful. There you have it. It's nice and clean. Looks great. There you have it. Everything that I use here, I have put links below. Put links to the original gun oil and to my review of the original gun oil down below if you want to clean it the way I do it. Once you do it a couple times, it'll take you 5 minutes. So thanks for watching, and if you like these videos, go ahead and subscribe, as I like to put out a video or two every month or so. And there you have it. Thank you very much.